That guy on bass here, you can call me Chris, and today we are doing something a tiny bit different. I've recently got my hands on the brand new Kaamos pedal by Darkglass Electronics. It's actually sat on the desk right here, but I haven't had a chance to mess around with it yet, and I've got to give it back tomorrow. So I figured instead of messing around with the pedal first and then diving into a video, let's just do it all in one big go and get a live reaction, a review and a demo all in one lovely package for you to enjoy. So the Kaamos pedal is designed in collaboration with producer and bass player Amos Heller. Now, if you haven't heard of Amos, you may recognize the artist he plays for, just a little independent artist you may or may not have heard of, called Taylor Swift. Now, I know what you're thinking, Darkglass, Taylor Swift, not the obvious combination one first thinks of. But Amos is a not-so-secret metalhead if you take a look at his Instagram, so it makes perfect sense for him to create a pedal in collaboration with a brand as synonymous with heavy distorted bass sounds as Darkglass. The Kaamos is essentially a distortion pedal and an octave pedal all rolled into one, with some really clever signal path and routing options allowing you to sculpt a ultra-specific octave down disgusting, vile bass tone, but also usable things too. You can stack the effects in series or parallel. There's a movable effects loop that you can configure inside the pedal itself, and a dedicated sub output on the side of the pedal, allowing you to open up multi-path, multi-amp effects options and really sculpting your tone to be as specific as you so desire. So for today's video, I'm going to use my Sterling Ray 2 for some sound examples. Let's have a quick listen and see what it sounds like completely DI'd. Lovely stuff. And now let's have a mess around with the Kaamos and see what wonderful sounds we can come up with. So as you can see, we've got all the controls on the Kaamos set at 12. This is to activate the distortion, and this is to activate the octave. Let's have a listen to see what we've got. So, like I said, just the bypass tone to start. And then here's the pedal. I mean, immediately that sounds pretty good in my opinion, but let's have a mess around with some of the controls. So up here we've got a blend. Let's just turn that all the way off and all the way on. Whew, sounds pretty good. Let's just leave that about here for now. And then we've got the drive, obviously, so just turning that as we go. Pretty usable and versatile. And then one thing that's worth mentioning is the drive mod control is essentially the alpha omega distortion circuit famously used by Darkglass. So turning this over to the omega side, or omega. Oh! And then moving across to the alpha side. Oh, that sounds so good. Straight away, but you tell you what, I'm going to leave this. Oh, I'm going to leave it over to the left-hand side just for today. And oh, I just love that distorted sound. It's so good. Then we've got a tone, an octave filter, an octave drive, the drive level, and then a clean level. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. We've also got a tone control for the drive itself. I'm just going to hit an open A while we mess around with that. Sounds pretty good, sounds pretty versatile. I think we can all agree just the drive section alone of this pedal it's pretty sick. I'm a fan. And now we're going to move on to the octave section of the Kaamos. So the first control we're going to mess around with is the octave filter control. This controls the low pass filter frequency of the octave section of the pedal. I should have probably mentioned this a little bit earlier, but pressing this octave filter button down here allows you to swap between 3 different styles of octave. We've got the Sublime and the Sublemon, I really hope that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, which are monophonic style synth octaves. And then finally, we've got the Subcitree, I really hope that's how you pronounce this, which is a polyphonic octave. This is number 1. This is number 2. And this is number 3. That is subby. Let's move back to number 1. I think the Subcitree has kind of like a really strong pog kind of sound, really thick, tracks really well, whereas the other 2 are a bit more synth-like, and they've got that glitchy tracking, which is just really satisfying to play with sometimes. I really like the third one, personally. So then we've got the octave level, which is obviously controlling the volume of the octave itself. And then underneath, we've got the clean level, which is bringing back in my clean bass tone. Now, let's bring in the drive. That sounds fantastic. The other thing I forgot to mention is clicking the octave level control allows you to switch between series and parallel processing of the drive and octave circuits. So if I've done this right, we've been moving through the parallel section at the moment, basically meaning the octave is nice and clean and the drive is nice and driven, but they aren't messing around with each other. Now let's put it into series, meaning we'll be applying distortion to the octave tone. I really like both sides. I can't decide between the two. I think the parallel one is a lot more sensible. It gives more control over the tone, meaning we're just protecting that clean lower octave sound, keeping things nice and consistent with the low end and still driving things on top. Bit louder as well. We'll try and compensate for that now. It's really cool. I think the two strongest ways you can use this pedal, or at least the way I'd use this pedal, is what we just heard, which is the distortion and the octave in series running into one another for that really dirty synth style sound. And then the other way I'd use it is moving over to the polyphonic synth setting, which is option 3. Then bumping things into the parallel processing mode to get more of like a clean octave, but with a super distorted top end. I've been playing up by the 12th fret a lot, so just to finish off, I'm going to play some stuff lower down the fretboard just to give kind of an indication of how it tracks. This is so good. I'm really enjoying this. Thus concludes my little reaction and demo and review of the Kaamos pedal by Darkglass Electronics. This is really cool. I'm really enjoying this. I could get lost in this pedal for hours. It's really great fun. It's super usable. I could use this in a professional context, either as a drive, as an octave, or everything in between in combination. Or I could use this for just insane soundscapes, messing around at home. Like, this is just, I really enjoy messing around with this pedal. We haven't touched on the sub output section of the pedal, and we haven't messed around with the effects loop. Adding a pedal into the effects loop and then clicking the blend button allows you to select where in the signal the effects loop comes into play. This is really cool if you wanted to add something like a multi-effects pedal, a chorus pedal, some modulation, more drive if you really wanted to, and you can just infinite soundscapes are possible with this pedal. This is really good fun. For more information, you can head over to darkglass.com. I've been that guy on bass. As always, you can call me Chris, and I'll see you in the next one. Tatty bye.